card?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let me see this. And actually, for this one, you'll look at me, not the camera, okay?
Okay.
All right, man. Hey, recently I was reading the Yahoo Sports article just yesterday that came out, and it said it was questioning your focus for this fight.
Sure.
It was saying that you were kind of looking forward and kind of counting this as a win and looking forward to the rematch, Jamie Varner.
Right.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, man. By no means am I overlooking this fight. I mean, this is huge. Ben's a good friend of mine, and he's an awesome athlete. I just can't wake up every morning and get mad at Ben, you know. So I use Jamie Varner as my tool, as my fire, as my get up and get through Ben to get to Varner. You know what I mean? So not looking past it by any means, but I'm you know, I use Varner as my fuel to get ready for this fight.
And what was I obviously know what happened with Varner, but what was your initial reaction to it? Did you know that he was? Because in your opinion, did he quit? And
I thought the fight was over, man. I thought I lost. I threw an illegal knee, and I thought they're called the fight. So in my eyes, I already lost anyway. So when it went to scorecard, I already knew I lost. He did an excellent job of taking me down and controlling me. I got nothing against the guy as a fighter. Him as a person, he's a punk bitch. But as a fighter, I think he's a great athlete.
What's causing the bad blood in here? Like what?
After the fight, man, he just wants to go and say I don't belong in the same cage as him. I'm not on the same level. Who are you, dude? What do you mean talking about? He's one of the top 10. No, you're not. You suck. Like, you know, you're compared to the grand scheme. No, you're a mid-level fighter, man, and he knows it. I've never seen anyone fall more in love with himself than him. But as a fighter, talent-wise, good. As a person, he's a punk bitch, man. He has no backbone, no spine.
With putting on the shades after the fight, after you got, you know.
He was crying like a bitch on live TV and didn't want everyone to see it.
And so, why has there been such a delay in a rematch in this, you know?
Yeah, because he has no heart, no backbone. He can't stand up with his pride, man. He's a punk bitch, just like I said.
Can you tell me about this trip to San Antonio, about this whole experience being here today?
Yeah, man, I'm glad to find Texas. I love Texas. Everyone from Texas always gives me and Leonard tons of support. You know, in the great state of Texas, man. So I'm pumped to be fighting down here. The AT&T Center will be huge. Hopefully we get a good turnout, and man, I'm gonna walk away with that belt.
Now, back to the fighting. This fight is kind of predicted to be a stand-up war, but he's a good wrestler.
He's gonna take me down. This is not gonna be a stand-up war. Whatever he's saying, he's gonna stand up with. Not gonna happen. He's gonna shoot in. He's gonna get hit, shoot in, try and take me down.
And but I guess to your defense, even though you are mostly a stand-up fighter, I guess you have won 9 of your 12 fights by submission. Yeah,
you know, I'm very comfortable on the ground. My wrestling is where I'm not comfortable, so I've been working on that. But stand up, go to the ground, wrestle, shit don't matter. I'm winning this fight. So.
Can you tell me a little bit about the house you just opened up for the guys?
Yeah, man, it's we got a ranch out there. Tapout sponsors the whole thing, and basically it's for those guys that are on the cusp, man. They have like 6-7 fights, you know, and they can't make it to the big show, but they're too good for the mid-grade shows. They're the best guy in their gym. They got nowhere to go. So Leonard and I opened our house up, and you know, for those guys to come down and see what it's like to train at a real gym, man, see what it's like to train with the best in the world, and then hopefully we can help them get to the next level. And that's what's up. You know, it was a long, hard road for me, and if I can put shortcuts out there for other people, hell yeah. You know, we got a guy here, Piniero, come down. He's an awesome fighter. You know, that's one guy that came out of the group. It's like, damn, you have it. You know, so that's what we're trying to do.
And what's been the reaction? Like, has this helped all the fighters? Like, what has been your initial reaction to how they reacted to this? This is the first class, correct?
No, this is the third month. So third group of guys, and then everyone loves it. They don't want to leave. So you know, it's crazy. We actually had 4 people. We opened up to 6 people now because we got a bigger house, and we're having 2 bunks for people that want to come back again and stay longer. So it's going great, man. I'm building like a 3,000 square foot gym out there, and it's just growing, man. Everyone learns from everybody, you know. So.
And how did Tapout help with sponsoring this?
They sponsor each guy who comes down. They give them a bag, a short shirt, hoodies, whatever they need, man, and just kind of help them out, you know.
Do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank for this?
Tapout, man, 100%. Tapout. You know, those guys I love. They've been with me when I was nothing, when I was nobody, and they were like, yeah, we got you. Mass used to tell me, you know, we got you, brother. So.
All right, one last thing. Can you just say you're watching TexasFighting.com?
Yeah. This Cowboy, you're watching TexasFighting.com.
Cool, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I just take a picture with you?
Yeah.
All right, if you just say your name and just second Punkass.
I say I'm Punkass from Tapout, and we're out here in San Antonio, Texas.
Can you one last thing? Can you just say I'm Punkass? You're looking at TexasFighting.com.
TexasFighting.com.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Punkass, and you're watching TexasFighting.com.
All right, cool. Hey, can you tell me a little bit about how Tapout got started?
Well, we were training in the sport, mostly jiu-jitsu, a little bit of like stand-up because I come from boxing, so we were kind of mixing it up at the time. We always liked mixed martial arts, but back then it was pretty much called NHB. They were calling it NHB. So we were training jiu-jitsu with Hoist Gracie. We started right after the first UFC. Me and Charles did, and we would always wear our Hoist Gracie shirts around. Just proud because we trained there, and it was pretty primitive back in the time. There weren't very many schools at all. There was, it was the only school we actually knew of, and we just, people would come up to us all the time and ask, man, is that UFC stuff? And because we'd have our Gracie Jiu-Jitsu shirt on, and they wanted to, they'd seen him in the UFC. So we thought, what if we came up with a shirt? Because there was really no other brand that was recognizable inside the UFC. People were coming in blank shorts and blank tees and just going in there to fight. We thought, what if we made a shirt that would be represented or would represent mixed martial arts, so that when you saw it on the street, you'd be like, hey man, I've seen that shirt before, but it's more of a brand, not really the UFC and not Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. It was just a brand that sat on its own, kind of like when Nike sponsors football or Quicksilver sponsors surfing. So that was the beginning. 1997, made the first shirt.
Kind of worked out as a good idea, I guess, right?
Well, now it is, but back in the day, people thought we were pretty stupid.
Did you sell? I read online. I saw your story about how you used to sell them out the back of your trunk.
I think back of the trunk is kind of like, there were a couple occasions where we actually opened the trunk and we were selling out of the back of the trunk, but actually more so it was even out of we used to have this 86 Ford van, and we paid $1,000 for it. We painted it all black. That's kind of where all of our vehicles came from, because now all of our vehicles are painted black. But it was cheap. It hid all the flaws, really. We just throw a can of black paint the rims black, we paint everything black, and throw a big Tapout sticker on the side, and we just run it, and so all of our vehicles are always black with black rims, and so we had this van that we had paid $1,000 for, and we would drive it to all these shows and just open up the back and sell right out of the back if they wouldn't let us into the show, or we'd pay a few $100 to set up inside the show and sell inside. Come on. Come on in.
It's all good.
You okay? Okay.
And the oh, you can come out.
I'm standing there.
And the tradition kind of continues with now with the Tapout van, all right? Can you tell me a little bit about the Tapout house with Cerrone and how y'all got involved in that?
Well, we sponsor both Leonard Garcia and Cowboy, and they came up with this concept. So it's all their idea. They came up with this concept, which is a fucking genius, and to bring fighters in there to go train at Greg Jackson's and train with them, kind of follow their training regiment, and they bring in up to 10 fighters a month. And they train for a full month with them and kind of go through, and maybe some of these guys are getting ready for a fight, or they just want to step up their game, or whatever it is. But we basically sponsor the house. There's Tapout all over the house, and we're trying to get sponsorship through the whole house. I have Champion Nutrition, who's committed to redo their whole kitchen for them, and they'll do it all Champion Nutrition. I want to bring in some other sponsors, kind of clean the house up, make it look like it's Class A, kind of like the Ultimate Fighter house, if you will. So it's just going to be sick, man. They have a great idea and a great concept, and I'm sure we're going to see more of those pop up around the world, or United States at least.
2 more questions. Can you tell me how you got your name, Punkass?
You know what? I can't even hardly remember, where people just started calling me that. I had it tattooed on my lip, and it was kind of like, somebody called me Punkass. At some point I had it tattooed on my lip, and it just stuck as kind of a nickname.